Alright guys, this video is how to become a Zumba instructor. So the first steps, and I'm going to put the links right below, is to go to Zumba.com and to pull up the Zumba training in your area. And I'll put the link below. It typically costs about $220, $250 depending on the timeline. And if you have, depending on the timeline that you basically get your ticket to the instruction session. Now, I became a Zumba instructor 3 or 4 years ago, so there may have been some little changes that have happened, and if that's the case, then, they may be minor, like a minor rate increase or something. But you'll see that information if you go to Zumba.com and become a Zumba instructor. Now, the next step is to go to the class, and I'll give you a little feedback on how that's going to be. When you go to the class, it's typically a one-day event, like morning to evening. So going to be all types of people in there. If you are not exactly at your fitness goals yet, do not feel intimidated, or do not feel, or if you're not a really professional dancer, don't feel intimidated. There are people from all backgrounds there, and so you're going to feel very comfortable typically once you get there. Once you get there, you're basically they're going to show you like how to choreograph songs and show you a little basics, show you the different styles of Zumba and some basic things about Zumba. And that's going to be pretty much it. At that point in time, you will walk out of there with your certificate and being able to teach basic Zumba. There are several other facets of Zumba. There's Aqua Zumba and Kids Zumba and Zumba toning, and now they have a Zumba in a chair where you use a chair. So there's all type of other certificates for you to be able to get, and if you would like to, but that's just to get your basic Zumba certificate. There's also all types of things that they do. After you get your Zumba certificate, you can join something called a Zen, which what Zen is basically you pay $30 a month, and you're able to like kind of be in the loop as to what's going on. They have conferences that go on where you get extra training. On Zen, there's different chat rooms with all types of subjects, questions you may have as a new Zumba instructor, job postings. You also are able to post your information on Zumba.com, so if someone's looking for a Zumba instructor in your area, they can find you. I've gotten maybe about, in my past history, about, I would say a maximum of 10% of my clients actually came from Zumba.com, or 10% of contacts from Zumba.com. So just to give you a little bit of numbers so you can decide whether that's best for you or not. If you do not do the $30 a month and become a Zen, you do have to renew your Zumba membership each year. Okay. So now once you do that and you get your Zumba certificate, now it's time to decide where you want to work and how you want to grow your Zumba business or your Zumba hobby or whatever. So there's several ways in which you can do that. Number one is to work for some type of local gym or local community center. And if you work for a gym or a community center, the pay for that is typically anywhere between $20 and $30 depending on the area that you live in per class. Another thing that you could possibly do is, let me go backtrack. In order for you to find jobs like with a gym or whatnot, you could either use the Zen. You can also call, just call around some gyms and find out if they're hiring for Zumba instructors, or if they don't have it, you can give them the, pros of having a Zumba instructor. Another thing that you could do is you can do it, kind of more so as your own business, and you can partner with either a gym or with a community center, and you guys can, kind of split the profits. A typical split is 70%, 30%, or 80%, 20%. Normally the higher portion on the Zumba instructor side and the lower portion on the facility side. The benefits of doing it that way is you never have to worry about losing money. Even if y'all have 2 customers and they both pay $5 to get in, you're not going to be losing any money, so those are the benefits of doing it that way. Then you just would promote. You can use Facebook to promote, Twitter, all the social things. You can do flyers. If you partner with a community center, it's great because typically you're able to get into their community center book. Some community centers don't do it that way. They just pay you to teach and that's it. But the thing about that is if they have, I've taught a class of, the highest class I've taught is 105 people. But one time I taught a class of 75 people at a community center when I first started, and it was just a pay by hour thing. And I found out they were charging about $5 per person. So 75 times 5 is what they made, and they paid me, I think, $22, which when you start to do that math, you start to think, I don't know if that's the way that I want to go. A third way to go is to rent a facility and just have all 100% profit. That way, doing it that way is a lot more risk involved, because it's a possibility that you won't have a huge class or something. If that rent is too high, then you have a possibility of losing out, and you won't make profit, or you'll lose, So you can rent a facility, or you can actually lease out a whole facility and do it as, as just a pure business. I would not suggest doing all Zumba as a business, because some people don't like Zumba. So if you were going to do something in the fitness industry, I would suggest combining multiple things. If you know someone who, like, for instance, is into supplements, or if you, want to add some other classes to your repertoire as well, because people will just get burnt out on Zumba all day, every day. Typically, people do 3 to 4 Zumba classes a week. So that's really an hour a day. So to rent out a whole facility for an hour a day, 10-hour facility would be kind of, I guess, silly or whatnot. So you want to do something else there as well. So those are all the 3 options, that you can do as far as profiting as a Zumba instructor. The positives of Zumba instructing is, if you love to dance, it's so much fun. I love it. I love I've always loved to dance. I've always loved choreography, even when I was a child, and it was so much fun. Of course, you are up there. I would suggest, if you think you want to be a Zumba instructor, get some of your friends together and just come up with a song, even before you get licensed, and just teach a song, to them, and make sure that you're comfortable with being up and in front of people, and teaching, because being up there for an hour is kind of hard, because you want to make sure the people are having fun. You're worried, like, okay, is they having fun? Are they having a good time? Or you want to make sure that's a fun, exciting class. That's one thing that I always want to include in my Zumba classes. The negatives about this particular type of business, because I'm, my passion is in business, and in making sure that business, you're doing something fun, but you also are doing something profitable. And the negatives is the time consumption. A lot of times people get attached to their Zumba instructors, as you guys know, and they don't want to see any other Zumba instructor except for you. And so even if you decide to teach, which I was at one point in time, 4 hours a day, that's going to be very, very, very difficult, on you, on your body, and things like that. I'm having issues right now with, like, my feet and ankles and things like that, knees, the only way to make it, you want to have businesses where they're able to, be duplicatable, and, easily, just be really duplicatable. That's the word I'm looking for. It's another word, but I can't find it right now. But just basically, in order for you to have a very successful business, you want to be something. For instance, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, they have franchises. They have the system. They could give it to anybody, teach it to them, and they could do it. That doesn't work with Zumba instructors. As you all know, if you're a Zumba fanatic, you go to one Zumba class, you love it. You go to another Zumba class, you hate it. It's all about that person, all about that Zumba instructor. And I even for me, I love Zumba, and I love to take people's classes. And, there's a handful of people that I really enjoy, and so it's really hard to, it's not something that you could just simply teach someone to do, or simply hire someone and, be able to profit in that way. So the negative is just the time, would be the time consumption, I believe, and also keeping it fresh, because you always want to have new songs and things like that. So if you have any other questions about being a Zumba instructor, or what worked for me, or tips and tricks, or ways that I can help you to become a Zumba instructor, please feel free to ask me those questions. I'll definitely answer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.